Why can't I speak to my abuser? I used to be shamed of coming from a person that beat me, was verbally abusive, mentally abusive, and mentally and ultimately psychological.
Yeah.
I used to lie
Yes.
about that. It created a liar in me because I never wanted to tell people that I was going through that. I never wanted to be. Yeah,
wow.
that's where the facade comes from.
I never thought about it that way because, like, my friends and people who I grew up with, I never shared the details of what we went through.
Yes.
I never did.
Which makes you a liar.
I get that point, but I also I don't look at it like that. And I didn't look at it like that before.
Right.
Right? Yeah, I guess if you boil it down
to the some whole root of the thing.
A liar.
It makes you a liar.
Withholding. I get it.
Yes.
I get it. Welcome to the show, everybody. okay,
you're right.
Again,
right.
This is a conversation. You are talking just to talk with King Ferdinand. Officially with the one and only Tai Perez. And as you know, my name is King Ferdinand. Let's really get into it. And I'm so glad you came prepared because you have a lot of things written down.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have some questions that I want to ask you.
Okay.
We talked a little bit about 2 or 3 weeks ago, right?
We did.
So tell me your thoughts after that initial conversation.
So I guess the backstory to this is that this has been percolating for me for a long time as far as wanting to be an inspiration, a motivation, and a change agent.
I love that. Okay.
Right? And so the core of the information is already within me, but I didn't understand how to get it out. And my brother, who has connected me with you, because that's the catalyst to how we came together.
Absolutely.
He has been on, like, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I really didn't know what that was and where to begin with that, which then brought in you. So then after our conversation and everything that we had talked about, I felt like the vibe, the life, the heartbeat, the pulse of what was happening, you felt, you received.
Yes.
And that this was about to happen, which now brings us to this.
Today, right? And we were scheduled at 11 o'clock.
So as I was saying, or where I felt like I left off at, was that my brother who connected us realized that this was something that should be brought to fruition. And what we needed were other people who had the expertise to help us bring it forth, which is wherein lies you.
Okay.
And I guess a lot of the motivation in this is that he and I both feel that I have a voice that needs to be heard, and that there are people that I can touch by talking with Tai.
Another part of this conversation, I want to pick your brain and think about this as a brainstorming session, right? We're sitting at a round table.
Right.
We're throwing out ideas.
So a little bit about my background is that once upon a time I was on the radio. And so I had that VJ experience.
Okay.
And as I started to really conceptualize what I'd like to see happen with where we're going in this movement, I know a lot of people always talk about the million number, right? The million, like when you get to the million. I'd really like to get to a trillion, like trillionaire Tai.
I love it.
And I want to reach 1 trillion people. I don't know if that is an like far-fetched concept, but I feel like if I start at that conceptualization, if I get to 1 million, I still did great.
Right.
If I get to 1 billion, I even did wonderful. But to reach 1 trillion people, to change 1 trillion people's lives. So talking with Tai is about being able to reach the masses, I think. And however that can be. But so those were some of the things that was building around trying to figure out what the brand would be. Because I still think we're in the birthing process of that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. What I'm really good at is active listening. So I will listen for keywords, catchphrases, things like that. Like when we were on the phone, I heard a lot of things that we could just put on a t-shirt and probably sell out. We'll point it out along the way, but there were at least 2 on the call that I remembered. I was like, wait a minute, I forget what you said. And I've been told the same thing about me. Just the way I put words together. It's poetry.
So I really believe that the audience should understand that a lot of these, just like you, these conversations are unfiltered. They just start out really, really natural. There is no force, faking. We're real, right? We could be talking about work. We could be talking about family. We could be talking about relationships. And in those moments, the things just come out.
Yes. The golden nuggets come out.
Then, it's not like then I want to be a person that is already prepared for what people will say. I want to take the vibe and the energy of that individual and then address them for what they need.
Right.
Now we could open up to something and start there, but then by the time the room is moving, it's what the spirit really needs.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you could go into a restaurant hungry and see the menu, but then there might be something that you didn't consider that was there.
Yes.
And that's what I want this to be like when we feed the people this way.
Yeah. So I'm right on the same page with you, fully aligned with that. That's the reason why the title of my show is so casual. It's called Talking Just to Talk with King Ferdinand.
Right.
It's like when you're having a conversation with your brother and you just never know where their conversation is going to go, what's going to come out. But however, I've learned in the last 3 to 4 years, you have to be very specific about who your audience is. Because I love the concept of what you're describing in theory. But if we are really trying to reach an audience, on average, the earth, I think there's about 8 or 9 billion people. If you zoom that into just a small percentage of that, that there's an audience that you'll be able to reach. Not everybody's going to be able to relate to the message that you have.
That's right.
There's also, consider the variable of people who live in different cultures and just don't align with what you're saying, right?
Sure. And then I think too, the uniqueness is I think life experiences, backgrounds, cultures, spaces and places where people have been that have been the catalyst to who I have become. That kind of thing I feel like transcends, because truth has to reside in a person somewhere. And I believe that in those conversations, something that I'm going to say is going to penetrate where the truth lives, which is where God exists.
Right.
And I want that to be the thing that people take away from it. Like there's no judgment, safe spacing, but also accountability and self-understanding that some of your problems you can fix by looking at you.
1,000%. Yeah,
right? Like,
absolutely.
It isn't just always the world. We're all walking around with generational things in us, in our memory muscle, from how our parents related to each other, to how we relate to our partner, because they set the skill sets for what we learned on how to deal with people, whether that was a good example or a bad example.
Unintentionally as well.
As well, right? Like, I mean, I'm sure I've given my parents a lot of grace because I realized that I was their first opportunity to do this. So they didn't have it all, right? They didn't know what it was. There's no booklet to parenting.
And that's most cases too.
Right?
If not all cases. I mean, a lot of people are lucky enough to grow up with parents that did the right things and set them up for success, but most of the time that's not the case.
Right.
So
I've had to find my success through the shift of shit that I had to go through.
Yeah.
Honestly, a lot of women, whether they want to admit it or not, are very much motherless daughters. Many women are I've been fortunate to grow up with both of my parents. I came from a 2-parent home. Most women come from a mother that is there, but a father that may be absent. So that mother is being the mother and the father of that situation. I was fortunate to come from, like I told you, a 2-parent home, but my mother became the mother and the father.
Right.
She wore the pants and the panties.
Did they get a divorce and then came back to each, or they separated?
Well, they were married for 30-something years.
Did they divorce
and
after
then divorced?
Okay.
Divorced, and then now they've gotten back together after umpteen years.
Yeah, which is insane.
And
beautiful
at the same
time.
Right. Mm-hmm. That is the big thing in there. It's a beautiful thing to see that happens, because now that they're older, maybe they have learned some things differently as they've traveled through their times and their lives with other people, that could maybe possibly make them better for each other. Mm-hmm. But you have to realize that you're the catalyst of where this began, because they're taught behaviors. Now, I may have to reteach myself how to get out of that, but it generated with you. Right.
There's the lack of accountability.
And that's the word that I want to use today, is that I felt like...
I heard you say it earlier.
It's accountability, and I believe that, right? Like, people need to be accountable for the bullshit that they put out too. Why do I have to be the bigger person to small people? Maybe they need to grow up. Maybe they need to meet me where I'm at versus me shrinking down to them. Mm-hmm. I mean, what does being the bigger person mean?
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
I'm telling you, I
what
wish
does that mean? Being
my
the bigger
thoughts
person
could just be projected on the wall behind me, because I was like, what does that mean? The bigger person.
Why does everyone...
I'm tired of being
the bigger person all the time.
But it's also kind of in my DNA to always rise. And so I think that's what it really means. It's rising above whatever the chaos, whatever the drama is. I'm not one to run around and apologize for things that... I'm not a people pleaser at all.
Me neither.
I'm not. I wouldn't use that phrase to describe myself. I do like peace. I like harmony.
Yes, I do too. What's your sign, by the way?
I'm a Leo.
I'm a Libra.
He is a Leo too. But Libra, you're water sign, aren't you? I think Libra is a water sign.
We're very, I think we're very, we're very, and we're balanced on the scales.
Yeah.
I mean, I look for the harmony.
Yeah. Leo is fire sign. So
I like water. Like, I could put you out, but I could also ignite your fire.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, right? And both of my parents are Geminis. Both of them are Geminis.
And my sister's a Gemini, so I'm familiar with that energy.
Right.
It like, people could deny it all day long, because some people don't believe in all
this
of that stuff.
Yes, but it has a factor.
There's consistency across the board with people. You can meet someone in a different city around the world, and they tell you they're a sign, and you can relate to a person that is very similar to this individual that has the same sign. Yes,
I believe in science. I believe in math and science, right? And I believe that astrology has a lot to do with science.
Yep.
The moon, the earth, the orbit of that,
Absolutely.
right? And we're orbiting around these things. And so I believe that energy exists, and you have to get in tap with that, right? Because we were asking who everybody was. I'm married to an Aquarius.
Okay.
My brother is an Aquarius.
Okay,
Some of my strongest friends are Aquariuses, right? And and you wonder, how do you mesh with those dynamics? But there's something about those energies when you put them together that work in every dynamic, right? There is a good and a bad in everything.
Right.
But there's a way to take a good from a bad to make it great. The two things can still work and come together and be magnificent. It doesn't have to be all gray. It doesn't. There can be some shades of color in things, some specks.
Oh, it better be. Otherwise we're bored.
Why are everything so bland, right?
Absolutely, yes.
I am going to be cordial and get along with everyone, but I'm also going to be a free thinker. I am not enslaved to the things that I have been through, right?
Right. Yeah.
I am not a victim. I'm a victor. And all of the things that my mom had done and the trauma that she had caused, I felt as if I had excelled over that, because I had gotten to a place where I had retired her, moved her to my state, and put on this event with them, which would have never happened.
They all live in Florida?
No, they live here.
Oh, they live here.
My mother was once in Florida with me, and me and my dad had retired her because she, early by the way, I had gotten to a certain point where I could do that. And I never thought that I would be able to give that to her because of the contingency in our relationship.
Yeah.
That I never thought that when I got, like, I might not seem like I'm at a big place to you, but in my life, I'm one of the biggest because I have broke generational curses.
Yeah.
I have done things that people have not been able to do. And because of that, I got in a space where I felt like, okay, if I wanted to succeed more, I needed to deal with some of the demons. And she was one of them. So I needed to be able to operate with her in grace and say, you know what, I know you fucked up, but I know that you didn't have instruction.
Right. That comes from a higher place, though.
That's God.
Of awareness.
That's God.
That's there.
That's
That's there, observing the whole situation and recognizing that and not holding it against her.
Bingo.
Yes.
To be able to create a relationship with her that that I don't need you to mother me anymore, but maybe we can have a woman to woman now, and that you can see me as an equal in that way. Right? Because I know our parents just always want to kid us, put us in a place where we're just a kid. But at some points, we become also then the parent to them. It's a reversal that happens. They birth us and they give us this, and then the next thing you know, we'll have to give them that.
You have to do this to them eventually.
Right. Yes. And so part of that understanding was realizing how that shift was shifting. And I think it was something very difficult for my mother to let go of because it's called control. Something that she always had. Because as I told you in this scenario, that my mother wore the pants and the panties. She was that type of black woman. You know what I mean? My dad was there, but it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to tell your dad.
See, that's a t-shirt right there. That's
Exactly. The pants and the pants.
Choose a struggle.
Oh my God, we will sell out immediately. I'm telling you. I wear the pants. I wear the pants and the panties.
Yes. Nigga, struggle is all I'm saying, you know?
Well, because like phrases like that, people will instantly understand what that means, and it's so catchy. Yeah, so yeah, that's good stuff right there.
Yeah,
But yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
I like my mom. I have a very unique relationship with her, and we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But come from a religious background, strong presence in the church, and now that she is a Christian, everything that she believes and everything that she lives is now imposed on
the family, right?
Yeah, and everyone around her.
Right.
And the thing I struggled with growing up is we lived a double life.
Absolutely.
So
we did too.
You understand? Like we went to church on Sunday, but when we would get home, the Crown Royal would come out, the cigarettes would come out, the weed would come out, and everything else in between would come out.
Yes, they became Christian, cussing Christians, as I like to call them, right?
So,
we lived a double life too. It was like we looked great. We looked like the epitome of a perfect family because my dad was he was the ideal uncle. We had the nice home, we had everything. But when we left that environment, it was hell. She was a demon spirit.
Yeah.
Okay, it was just, we were battered and abused people.
Yep. Physically, mentally and emotionally. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Me and my dad left my mom at a certain point in my life.
Right.
And moved away from her. And I hadn't lived with my mom since I was 13.
I was 16 when I
gone.
Yes.
Gone. Because if I had stayed, I couldn't have ever developed into who I was.
Yes.
I would have been even a more broken, bitter person than you see. I have some bitterness. I had some brokenness, but I've fixed that. Like I've done the therapy, I've done the shadow work. I learned to accept it, which gave me the grace to deal with her.
Right. Oh, I love this because I went through a very similar thing. When I started to go to therapy, I started to resolve a lot of these things. And I had what they call a spiritual awakening.
Yes.
Where you just start to see everything as a reflection. It's like, oh wait, all of these things I was just taught, like indirectly. Okay, so you start to really see things in a very, very different light. That's what a spiritual awakening is.
Yes,
you just become aware of why things are the way they are, why you do the things you do, and why people behave the way they do. Right? A lot of things you're saying I resonate with so the universe is,
it's working. Right. Working. And that's what I feel like is going to happen is that what is going to come out of those conversations, there is someone that is there that's trying to figure out
Definitely.
how to deal with that no
Yeah.
one has ever put it in a term where they could understand it, on how to break the chains of feeling like you're just enslaved to what your parents taught you or what things you grew up with. How do you break those cycles? How do you get out of that, right?
Right.
And one of the things that helped me to be able to release that was shame. I used to be shamed of coming from a person that beat me, was verbally abusive, mentally abusive, and mentally and ultimately psychological.
Yeah.
I used to lie
Yes.
about that. It created a liar in me because I never wanted to tell people that I was going through that. I never wanted to be. Yeah,
wow.
that's where the facade
I
comes
never,
from.
I never thought about it that way because, like, my friends and people who I grew up with, I never shared the details of what we went through.
Yes.
I never did.
Which makes you a liar.
I get that point, but I also I don't look at it like that. And I didn't look at it like that before.
Right.
Right? Yeah, I guess if you boil it down
to the some whole root of the thing.
A liar.
It makes you a liar.
Withholding. I get it.
Yes.
I get it. I see what you're saying.
And I'm telling you, it created a clutch, right? Between the real me and the facade me. The me that I was protecting from people to see, or the person I was going to be really, and be like, I'm going to be bold. I'm going to be me. You can like that and love that, or leave it alone. I don't need to lie about it to make you comfortable, to be comfortable with me.
Right.
I don't have to be ashamed anymore of this.
Wow. Okay, so
That was a breakthrough.
I'm with you, but I have a slightly different philosophy about all of this. I think that's the beauty of having a conversation like this.
Right.
Because, like, you have a perspective, and you hit the nail on the head. I totally understand.
For me, that was
right.
how I
love
read
that. Yes.
my recovery
You got
and
to that
discovery is that I understood that the bottom line of a lot of it was shame.
Right.
And see, shame keeps you into a shell that makes you not be truthful.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're ashamed of a thing, you're not sharing truth.
Right. I was definitely ashamed.
You see what I'm saying?
Like,
shame keeps you there.
and that's definitely true. But I'm going back to my younger self in those times of, the verbal, physical, emotional abuse that I went through pretty much 24/7, unless I was going to school. Which was an escape, a beautiful escape for me.
For sure.
Because I was able to reconnect with friends that loved me for who I was, or the version of myself that I was showing them.
Showing that, exactly.
Right? But the reason why I want to just insert my perspective is because the way I see it as my younger self is that I wanted to explore the world and escape from what I was experiencing at the house.
Yes.
But I also wanted to really just immerse myself in a world outside of that. I didn't want my life to be solely about the abuse that I received in my home, right?
Right.
So when I go out and I interact with people and I'm having great conversation, we're laughing, because I'm not going to say I was the class clown, but I was always the person who got along with everyone and silly and playful. But that could have also been a way to just hide and put things away. But the thing is, the abuse is not who I am. That was a part of what I experienced. So who I really am is who I'm showing these people. I'm having the opportunity to say, okay, relax the shoulders, sigh of relief, and now I'm able to actually have fun. Right? Because that's all I want to do, and I still find myself in that position now. Anytime there's drama, chaos, arguments, it is the last thing I want to do. And I want to figure out a resolution as quickly as possible, because life is very short, and it's a beautiful thing. All I want to do is experience life in a very beautiful way, especially if I can control the narrative.
Right. Well, I think the word you just used was really, really important. Narrative. Okay, so bringing it back to my experience last night, that was a narrative. The narrative of my family has been that, like, we were these wholesome people. The truth of it were we were broken and battered and bitter, right? And whatever that came from, whether that came from my mom not having love, because I later on found out that she wasn't a hug child. She wasn't a child that was ever told that her mother didn't, or father didn't tell her that she was loved.
Wow.
Didn't hug her. So she didn't exhibit.
So physical touch wasn't a love language she expressed to you guys. Okay.
No, and for the longest time, I never knew what her love language was because I don't think she understood what her love language was.
Yep.
Her love language was going to work, providing for you. And I think every parent thought that if they did that, they had done enough.
That's crazy, yeah.
That they had done enough for you because, hey, I kept a roof over your head. You didn't want anything. That's what my dad said to me today as we were, because my dad called my wife to apologize to her. Mm-hmm. Now, they didn't call me. They called my wife and apologized to her for the experience that had happened between the privacy of me, my mom, and my dad and us. Because it was my mom, my dad, me, and my spouse in a room together when this conjunctural happened. So we weren't with other family members. It was an intimate thing between my parents and I.
Thank you for painting that picture.
You see what I'm saying? It was the first time that my parents and I had been with me and my wife in an instant that we could. There was no one else around but us and God and the spirits, and we were on spirits.
Yes.
And we were on spirits. So the spirit came.
Yeah.
And when the spirit comes, you don't know what that's going to be, because I can tell you this scientifically. There are good spirits and bad spirits. God works in the devil and the angels. Mm-hmm. And you've got to operate in between those things all the time. There's a devil here and an angel there, and you're always making this choice between, do I do the right thing or the wrong thing? Do you know how hard it is to be a fucking responsible person every day? Not go crazy on somebody? Not go out and rob a bank or hit you upside your fucking head?
Oh my God. You got to think about all of those things in the moment.
In the moment.
Wait, if I do that then all of these things are going to happen. So, okay, you lucky I thought about this for a second, because it can happen like this.
Because of the training that we've been taught, coming from an abusive place, we could be that abusive. I could be way more abusive than I ever have because I've been taught abuse. I was taught abuse way more than I was taught love. I was taught separation more than I was taught togetherness. You
are an expert in the in the idea of abuse, if you think about it, right? Because of your personal experience. And me too. I can speak to it. That's not something I want to speak to.
No, but it's something that you got to bring out so that people can kill it. Because as long as you're not speaking to it, you're allowing it to live. You're giving it food. And I wanted to kill, smash, crash, and destroy her thoughts of thinking that what the hell she had done was that great. No, it wasn't. And some of the things that you're talking about me and my marriage, you're looking at yourself when you talk about me.
Right, wow.
And I pointed that out to her and it pissed her off. That then made her want to put her hands on me.
Oh, it got to that point?
Well, we got to the point where it populated to where she rose up to want to. And I had mentioned to her that if she touched me, she was going to jail.
Oh, okay. I thought she was going to say, you're a grown woman now.
No. So. I told her I'm not 13. I'm not doing no ass whippings, which I told him this morning too. I'm not 13.
Right.
So I'm almost 50. You are not whooping my ass anymore. Those days are gone. We're going to have to talk. And if you can't take what I say, that means you can't stand strong in words because it touched you. I struck a nerve. And when you strike nerves and parents, then they don't know what to do with that.
Yeah.
So then they want to become and revert to who they really are, which is the violent, non-emotional, non-being able to figure out and talk out they talk. Mm-hmm. Because that's the only thing you know is to want to get upset. You don't want to say, okay, wait a minute. Let's process this, because they don't have conflict resolution skills. I don't think anyone ever taught our parents conflict resolution.
No, absolutely
All they did was manage how to deal with conflict. They did not. So when they called me this morning with the problem, I said, well, what's the solution though? You don't have a solution. You're still talking about, oh, it's me. I said, put the blame on me. Put the blame on me, because that makes you sleep good at night. To not have to accept that you're a fuck up, right?
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So put it on me. After I'm out here trying to fix the mess that you created called me.
People could say what they want about alcohol, but the thing about alcohol is that you are telling the truth. You are telling the truth. So if you get so drunk and you forget what you say, and you're talking to me right now,
right?
I'm going to believe everything you're saying.
you said. Even if you didn't remember what you said.
Even if you didn't remember, even more so.
Because I told him that's liquid courage. That liquid courage got to working. Baby. Everybody got to speaking their courage. And then now, here comes the raw, raw, raw. And I was just going to tell her, I'm not going to hit you because you my mom. And I would hate, and so here's the other thing. I have a backstory to that. I have PTSD because I've been stabbed by a cousin.
Wait, backstory to what?
Her not being able to put her hands on me.
Oh, that. All right.
Right? Already dealing with that from her coming up. Yeah. Then having a cousin that stabbed me. No adults are going to do that. I carry a weapon because of that stuff. Okay? I'd hate to be on TV with being the person that shot their mom. Like I've seen grandmothers shoot their grandkids or that kind of stuff happen because there is no real resolution when it comes to having deep conversations with our families about generational problems.
Oh my God.
All they can do is get angry and mad at you. They don't know how to work it out. They don't know how to say, you know what, you are right. I was that person. But I'd like to see me as something different.
So what do you think are some steps to move towards that?
Accountability. For one,
that's the
a
key
person
word.
has to accept. It's like AA and NA. The first things they teach you is that first you have to believe that you have the problem. I couldn't fix myself without knowing that I needed to be fixed. If I thought I was completely healed, how could I get to healing? Right? If you think you're all the way together, then how are you ever going to be corrected? So that's one of the things I told you. If you can't be watered, then you're a fucking cactus.
Ooh. Write that one down again. Write that one down again. If you can't be watered, you are a fucking cactus.
Let's be true.
Take notes. Take notes. Oh my God. See, this is why I said cameras must be rolling and microphones must be hot. If you see me looking around, because I'm testing to see if that red frame is happening, that red light, it needs green lights from this microphone. It's capturing everything with crystal clear audio.
Okay.
And then I'm back to the conversation.
You do what you do.
No, I'm a producer at heart.
I love it.
Right?
I love it.
I'm on camera, but I had to learn all of these different things along the way. Trial and error, right?
And again, I think those are just like tools in the toolbox of life when it comes to people. You need to know that you can't be the smartest fucking person in your group.
Yes.
You need other people. Like I could not have, I won't be able to tell you that the pinnacle of my success will have been just me by myself.
Right.
It will have been the support of others that saw it in me, right? And I brought that out to my parents last night in that I'm going to become who you didn't think I could have been because you didn't even see it. You don't even know what you saw for me to be.
Wow.
You had what was your vision of me, but you're disappointed?
Yeah.
How the hell could you have been disappointed when you don't even know what you wanted from me?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I believe that our parents need a retraining on who we are today outside of what we've become because we became with them.
The reality is that's not going to happen.
It's never. But I'm not going to allow you to make me be a slave to the past that we used to have. I'm free from that. Mm-hmm. You can't keep me in bondage of being ignorant to your emotional maturity, right? Because our parents sometimes have never matured beyond.
Oh my God.
Let me tell you this. Scientifically, it says a person's mental state is where they were whenever the last grade they ever graduated from. If you only went to 8th grade, your understanding is only at an 8th grade level. And everything you do is elementary to you at that point because you've never experienced another thing. You've never higher any other place than 8th grade. So everything you do, you vibrate on an 8th grade level. Your how you resolve conflict is at the 8th grade level way. That's why you see so many people that are grown adults still act elementary because they never graduated past 9th grade, high school. They never went on to further learning, or they never even retaught themselves. Right. Because you can go to a higher education school, which is what everybody says, you go to college, you get it. Right. But until you have at least experienced college, you have never had a college experience.
Right.
So a person who's never went to that level, how do they tell you anything about it?
They can't. The challenge I have is life experience can kick into play. So if a person has an 8th grade education level, right? But we're speaking to like classroom setting, like learning from the books. I believe life experience is much more valuable
than the school.
Yes, because they're really teaching you what they want you to know.
Learn. Well,
right?
it makes you a worker. Going to school makes you a worker. For you to be a worker.
Go into the workforce.
Right? It makes you.
Yeah.
It gives you the work ethic. Right. It also gives you the work ethic because you gotta get up.
You gotta get up. You gotta
go.
Yeah. Your
So
accountability back.
Yeah, it gives you that. The other thing that I think that we don't tie into what it gives you is social skills.
Oh yeah.
Social skills.
1000%.
How to interact with people. So if you
it could traumatize a person because
people at school.
Yeah. What's that? What'd you say?
Emotional intelligence.
Emotional intelligence.
Yeah. I mean, you pick up a lot of skills, and discipline is another thing. Even if like you have a lazy kid or whatever, the fact of you're getting up, you have a routine, you have specific things you have to do.
Sports produces that, right?
Yes.
Your involvement in activities at school give you the foundation of where you're going. Right?
Yep.
That's what school will do to you. But
exactly,
but say you don't go there. So say you only went to school just to show up and then you didn't do any of those things. You never participated in that stuff. What do you know about it? Right. If you now here is the other thing that I know, because as a person who did get education and we did, I was an outthinker even in school. I was an outliner then.
Yeah.
What I'm going to tell you is that I had to realize too that I had been lied to in school, so I had to reteach myself. Right? That some of the things that they taught me was to be a worker bee. Yeah. Then I had to learn how to be an entrepreneur, which is where we're at in this realm here.
Yes.
Right? But now take our parents. If they were, I come from a line of people that they were very engineering as far as wanting to have it, but nobody handed them nothing. Like some of them had to quit going to school so that they could work. So all they know is work. They only know the jobs that they've done. They don't know anything beyond that. Oh, they know to go home and cook the meal and wash the clothes, and this is what we do, and you become a robot. But there was never no hey, what's the capital of this? What does this state bird do? There was our parents were too self-focused on they got to provide. They weren't trying to teach you. That's what the teacher did. You don't go in there and question the teacher. We were taught to not question the teacher. Goes back to tonight that I told you they don't want me to question the teacher.
I see.
They don't want me to question the teacher.
Yeah.
So when I questioned the teacher, I got into it with the teacher. Now I'm in trouble.
Right.
My brother and I have a very eclectic togetherness in how we know each other and how we become and our bond is. And
give me an example of what that means.
That means that even early on, I think we understood that we were different. Right?
Okay.
I just feel
That's
like
so crazy. I know nothing about you, but I'm realizing
Let's focus right here.
No. I'm actually here, but she's a reflection of you, and you are of her.
That is true.
Yeah,
but you are also the trinity of that.
Absolutely.
So so as if I don't know you know him, but you may not know him.
That's what I'm saying. That's where I'm going. It's like
absolutely.
We have a lot more in common than I realized, and I'm realizing today, and so that means I have a lot more in common
with him
as well.
That's absolutely true. That's absolutely because the things that you have in common with him and that he sees is a reflection of the people he's met.
Yep.
And it all ties in.
That's so funny.
It all ties in.
Yeah.
That's what I'm telling you. This is a God thing. Like we're about to be where we want to be because there's no way this cannot happen.
Yep. So continue. And I want you I want you to get to a point where you want to land the plane on the story with your parents and everything.
Because well this will take us down to the shifting. So you've been able to get the gist, but we were talking about school and training and teaching, and I'm looking at them as the teachers. And like I said, the problem that happened last night was about me being able to question the authority. questioning the authority or even having a different thought process from what the authority says is true, because that's their truth. That's her truth about what she feels. It's not my truth. I have a different perspective being the receiver of what she's done than her being the person that did it.
Yeah.
Our parents have had I see that my parents have been able to erase out of their minds the bad things that they don't want to remember about who they were. So then when I bring up something about who they are, it's like I lied.
They don't remember.
No, I'm lying about them.
If I could just tell you what you went through and what you're talking about it's not identical, but there's a lot of the same ingredients, a lot of the same things that I experienced. My sister and I, we went through, and we had that same moment where we were trying to articulate and explain our perspective of what we received and what we went through. And
they don't agree with it.
They have some kind of objection somehow.
So, yes.
And it's like, how can you have an objection to something that we experienced, that we have a perspective on? The best thing for you to do is just be a great active listener and acknowledge what we felt.
Yeah, but they cannot do that for some reason. That's a difficult thing, yes. Where it goes back to what I said, accountability.
Yes.
I don't think that our parents know that word.
Yes.
And I don't think that they know what that action means, to be accountable for what they've done to us that we had to work through to get to who we've become.
Yes.
Because that was a process, sir. That was do you know that if I had have stayed in that brokenness, I could have been a lot worse? Had I not elevated and broke those chains of psychological, emotional. And again, I'm not going to tell you that I did not do people wrong along the way to find out how to get right.
Oh, good point.
I did people wrong to get right.
Yeah.
I did not know how to. I did wrong. I'm owning it.
You did what you did at that place where you were and what you knew.
Exactly. Right. But I'm just telling you that was me then saying to them that I'm not going to take it from you any longer. I don't have to. I say this to people all the time, like, you don't have to be in pieces to be at peace.
Stop. Did you hear that one?
I've heard it before, probably. I'll make it the video so I can hear later.
That's number 3 right there, folks. You don't have to be in pieces to be at peace.
No.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize. It is golden nuggets. This is what I always refer to, nuggets. Chicken nugget. To let people chew on.
These are all copyrighted.
Right.
Yeah, we definitely want to make sure that we can.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Because there's so much going on, so much coming out. So I love that though. Yes.
Yeah. So the landing place, as I was gonna say, that goes back to what he and I had experienced in school coming up, was being able to stand up, because I was not a person that could stand up in my home. I was not a person that could have said all the things I felt, because there would be some abuse tied into that. So I had to be quiet. But once I figured out my voice, which is like what you were saying, that school became the way for me to be able to not be suppressed, which made me challenge the people who were standing in front of me, where I couldn't do that in the circumference of my home. I could do that in the outer spheres of my life, which makes me an outlier, because on the outside of it I could, in the inside I couldn't. Then I got to a place as an adult that I was no longer afraid to speak to them, which creates the anger in them. That you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, completely.
That is the landing place, is that I stand up to them today. Whereas they may want me to sit down and I won't. Because that setting down then puts me back in the places that I've already recovered from. Why would I let you regress my recovery? Why? when I've had to work to be who I am, to be here, to not be an abusive person and hit people over the head and beat up my wife. Now, I may cuss her out, but I don't beat her up. I don't put my hands on her. But I was taught that. I came up in that abuse. I saw that. But you know what it takes to get out of that? To having somebody do you that way and then you not be that? So why would I let my abuser, why can't I speak to my abuser? Why? Because they get mad.
Say what you just said again.
Why can't I speak to my abuser?
Look at the camera and say that.
Why can't I speak to my abuser?
That right there is a show. Right there. Like that concept. Think about this. Seriously. So there's a YouTube channel, this guy who, have you ever heard of the concept of a narcissist psychopath? A narcissistic psychopath.
No, but it sounds deep.
If you look at the individual words, but put them together, it's even worse. So it's a person who is just, they're in a vicious cycle of these behavior patterns. And they're really, for the most part, aware, but some of it they're unaware. That they're doing it to people. And it's just like survival. It's almost like a leash, or they're sucking blood, and then they need a new victim. Piranha will be like they're chewing.
It's a piranha.
And once there's nothing else to chew, they need something else to gnaw.
To gnaw. Yeah. Well, I just feel as if, and that was part of the issue, is that I was confronting my abuser, and that then triggered that abuser to want to exhibit what they do. And I just said no. Even if it's my mom. Some of our greatest, I will tell you this right now. I don't know who in the world needs to identify with this, but as people say all the time, like our first friends was our cousins, they were also our first enemies. Some of our first enemies and friends were family members.
You better get me out of here. Bring the check.
My brother said this is it.
Turn the lights off, please. That's crazy.
My brother said this is it. Have you not been saying that?
Like my cousin, my blood cousin,
stabbed me.
Was the person who would tease me or pick on me because I was gay or different, because I didn't even know I was gay. I didn't even know I was gay at the time, but y'all are telling me I'm gay, and so then I'm over here and you're over there because I'm different, right? And then everything became a competition. My sister and I, we joke about this still to this day, but everything became a competition, which makes you feel inadequate, makes you feel like you need to, you don't compare, right? Faster, you're not smarter, you don't have enough money. Right?
Oh, we had colorism and everything. Like I was paper sack.
Yeah, my cousin was lighter
I was paper
skin,
sack.
All of that.
I had a black. They called her black. My mom. It was so funny.
That's insane. What you're talking about right now.
Yesterday at our family at our Thanksgiving, my mom called my cousin, who's dark skinned. They used to call her black because she's dark. I hadn't heard that said to her since we were young. My mother said, "Hey, black," not understanding that actually is a trigger for her. Because she's always then struggled because of being the darker skinned one. They don't even understand how they perpetuate the continual. The continual. And that night and last night, I'm just talking to my abuser who can't take.
Get me out of here.
And now you want to fight.
Good. This is great.
Now you want to percolate. But I'm telling you, you're going to jail. Whoever. Don't put your hands on people. That's the message I want people to know. Because let me tell you, if grown people like we are in this room, this is what I told my dad today when he called to apologize to my wife. I said, isn't it funny that you call up my wife, you jump skip over me, and call my wife and apologize to her, but you two are my parents. Why not have the conversation about, hey, we might need to apologize to each other so that we can apologize to this lady. But you want to just go right to what's easier for you to do, which is deal with her, not deal with me. Right? You want to deal with the easiest thing. Let's go to her where you have some solidarity, because she's not going to put up a fight between my parents Doesn't she want to be the equalizer? She wants to be at peace with all of them. She doesn't want there to be like, well, I didn't think that was right, that y'all did this to her. Do you really think your partner wants to get in the middle of you and your parents? No partner does that. She can't stand up to my parents. That's an easy win. It's an easy win with her. It's a greater battle with me.
It's personal. It
is.
There's a lot of history.
And that's where I say that they then cop out on having conflict resolution. Because wouldn't it make more sense to come to your daughter before you come to an outsider? How can you be more better to an outsider than you?
Her?
Yeah, they called her this morning and talked to her and apologized to her. They didn't do that with me. They didn't call me up this morning and say anything. They went right to her to be like, we so sorry for your experience and what you witnessed. But that wasn't the whole sum total of the experience. That was the after party. Let's just say that was the after party, right? Because the party was wonderful. Mm-hmm. We had a great time at the thing. This was a small, intimate, private moment that was happening between the four of us. And I again, which why you see that there's no inclusion here right now. Mm-hmm. I'm here solo. I'm here with no support, but I'm not alone.
Right.
You do have support.
Oh no.
But
no.
Yeah.
Oh no. Let's not minimize that. I know I'm powerful. I'm telling you, stand in the gap though. Where's the courage to stand in the gap? It takes courage. And that's what I'm telling you. I can't have, I know honestly inside of myself that I've got to have a David that can fight a Goliath. I can't have a Judas. A Judas won't work with me because you can enjoy me, but you're going to turn your back on me. Mm-hmm. A Judas only enjoys you.
Wow.
A Judas only enjoys you for what it is. That's what Judas did with Jesus. He sat at the table with him, ate with him, drank with him. Then he got in the room with other people that didn't like him, and what he decided to do? Turn his back on him. Yeah. A Judas only enjoys you for your juice, but a David will fight for your ass.
We need a dry erase board around here. We need a dry erase board around here.
I'm just telling you, I want to get rid of all the Judases.
Okay.
But yes, I say that and I leave it there, and that's just, I say that even at the foundation of where I'm at. Yeah. I think that goes back to what I mentioned to you before in one of the healing processes was the shame. And whenever you can get out of shame, the shame kept me lying. Right? The shame.
Shame are the two shackles, yeah.
Yeah, shame builds shackles. Yeah. That's absolutely true because shame.
I'm telling you, it's nonstop. Yeah, that's a really good nugget too.
Yeah. Shame builds shackles.
Yeah.
And it'll keep you locked into that mindset of that I'm not gonna move any further from there because I don't want anyone to know.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to know.
And who's allergic to light?
Vampires. Vampires. Okay? People who are allergic to the light are dark, right?
Yeah.
What things do you know that don't come out in the daylight?
Creatures.
Exactly. People.
Creatures.
I mean, and like I told you about the shadow, right? Your shadow only comes out in when?
In the daytime.
Bingo.
Yeah.
And if you can't deal with who you are in the fucking light,
how are you doing in the dark?
What are you doing in the dark?
Yeah. Oh, good. That's crazy. All right, look, we definitely went all around the world and
I told you that in the beginning of when you walked in this room. I believe that. I know that we're about to do something earth-shattering right here. I believe that this is only just the beginning, and when we look back at this and the next whatever mathematics it'll be, we will remember how this happened. And we were talking about this Thanksgiving, because this is the Thanksgiving weekend that this transpired. Yeah.
Right.
We will not ever forget this. Right. This is the mark, the Thanksgiving, because I'm giving thanks to the fact that we are about to blow up. Finally, all the things that my brother has been saying since we were in high school.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's been that long?
It's been that long.
Yeah.